What is up, guys? Wrestling Premiere is here. Shout out to you guys for joining the channel. I've decided to make a lot of different videos on here. Once again, let's not get into that. What is this video about? Booker T. Booker T, one of the best representations of WCW in the late 1990s, emerged as one half of the Harlem Heat with his brother Stevie Ray. They amassed a lot of championship gold in WCW, captured the titles, but it was clear that once Stevie Ray went out with an injury, that Booker T had a much higher ceiling than expected. His best of 7 years propelled him to superstardom, and from there, Booker T took over WCW's mid-card scene and eventually rose to the top of the company, becoming a 4-time WCW champion. Or 5-time, I don't even remember. What is this video about? I just want to talk about Booker T a little. Like, when we talk about the all-time greats, we usually talk about the usual guys. Sometimes we go with RVD, Rey Mysterio, and those type of guys, but we tend to forget a lot about Booker T. I was thinking yesterday, hey, people don't really talk about, like, how athletic and how smooth and how, like, different Booker T was compared to everyone else, and the fact that he had a lot of assets in his skill set, which is something that not a lot of wrestlers have. So I decided to make a video about him here. It fits the second channel a lot, One thing you notice about Booker T is his uniqueness. Straight from the bat, his entrance, his movement, his maneuvers, everything about him is unique, and it's something that stands out a lot. The moment he enters the ring, his put. Alright, now we're glazing. Once Booker T rose up to the top of WCW, I felt like his talent was almost undeniable, because at that point he had worked very hard on himself and showed a great in-ring talent, which is something that a lot of the wrestlers in the late 90s and early 2000s started to work on very hard, because at the top of WCW at the time, they had Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Goldberg. These guys weren't really tearing the house down with matches, but people gravitated towards them because of their characters, their aura, their everything about them, other than the wrestling, of course. Booker T, though, worked on that differently. He worked much harder, and if you watch his matches in WCW from 1998 to 2001, there's a feeling of a guy that has a chip on his shoulder. That's what I'm trying to say. But the praises of Booker T come from the fact that, like, he's one of the most decorated champions of all time, right? There's very few wrestlers in wrestling history that have more titles than Booker T. I believe in North America, Edge is the only guy that has him on that, which is crazy to me. It shows that, like, anywhere he goes, they just want to put a title on him and showcase him, which is something that basically confirms his talent. If you watch Booker T from the years of 1998 to 2002, there's just someone there that has, like, he feels almost undeniable in some ways. And that talent was pushed in WCW, but the moment he went to WWF after the purchase of WCW, he was limited. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he was clearly limited a lot. I personally feel if Booker T would have went to the WWF before 2001, 2000, 1999, or something like that, a lot would be different. I personally feel that WCW thing about him held him back a lot. A lot of people could say it's about race, which Triple H, beat him and all that. But you could also say that WCW held him back a bit. He had to work very hard. And again, this is a testament to his talent that he worked so hard to get himself into better positions, because this guy at some points was losing a lot. He was losing to all the main event guys, The Rock, Stone Cold, and there's no problem in losing to those guys, because at the end of the day, it's The Rock and Stone Cold. It doesn't matter. Those two are the greatest wrestlers of all time. Then it started getting lower down the card and whatnot. And after WrestleMania 18, Booker's character and his booking wasn't the best. They had him join the NWO, kicked him out, made him look like a joke. Shawn Michaels just kicked him like he's a jobber or something like that. And a pairing with Goldust seems like a lower mid-card thing, but this guy, along with Goldust, exhibited some of his very best promos, his very best moments in his entire career with that pairing. Once he was paired with Goldust, it was some of the most entertaining moments in Booker T's career up to that point. And that in itself helped him get back to a point where he became the challenger to Triple H at WrestleMania 19. And that match actually was good, that match was good. Story had a lot of heat to it, which was a bit unnecessary, especially because of the result that it ended up being. But it goes to show that Booker had talent, to get himself back to a position where he was in the beginning. He was challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship in 2001. He was the champion as well when he came from WCW and whatnot, but he worked very hard to get back to that point. I just think Booker T should be talked about a lot more, because this is a guy who is very versatile. He's a good promo, even better comedy promo, which is something that a lot of people don't have down. He's great as a comedy face and as a comedy heel as well. Good promo. The King Booker thing shouldn't have worked. It would have been a mid-card thing, but he managed to get it working, managed to make it one of the best characters of SmackDown in 2006, even though it was goofy, even though it was kind of dumb, let's be honest. He randomly had a British accent just because he won King of the Ring. This guy suddenly transported himself back to royal medieval England or something. It's over. You guys remember that? Like, this guy was talking nonsense with that British accent, but he made it work. and it got him the World Heavyweight Championship, something he wholeheartedly deserved after 5 years in the WWE. What else does Booker have in his arsenal? His in-ring skills are very unique, and this is a thing that I kind of do have against him. It kind of holds him back. It's the fact that Booker T never really went all out after he got de-pushed in 2001. I feel like there's a big difference between Booker T of 2000 WCW and Booker T of 2003 WWE. I feel like he was just holding himself back because at that point he probably didn't believe they would push him and whatnot. He held himself back in ring because the catalog, when we look at some of his very best matches in his career, a lot of them are from his WCW career, and a lot of them were with Chris Benoit, Jeff Jarrett, funny enough, these type of guys in WCW. Once he went to WWE, that catalog kind of falters a bit. You know what I mean? I feel like that holds him back a bit more. Like if he exhibited a lot more classics in his career, especially in the WWE, I think would rank him much higher, but he probably didn't believe they'd push him. Who knows? And that's opposed to somebody like Rob Van Dam. Like Rob Van Dam was almost in the same position as Booker T from 2003 to 2006. Yet he has a lot more notable matches from that time period compared to him. You get what I mean? But yeah, Booker's moveset was very unique. The kicks, the athleticism for somebody that was big. Like this guy was like 240 pounds or something like that. Yet he'd go up to the top rope and hit some crazy ass missile drop kick. The Harlem Hangover, the Houston Hangover, as it was called later on. I just think Booker deserves a lot more respect, you know, because I just think people should talk about him more because he was very unique. He's someone that there's just everything about him was very unique. I just don't think that WWE pushed him to his full potential, number one. And number two, I don't think Booker, like, I don't want to say really wanted it as much later on, but like I feel like he wasn't as hungry as he was in 2000 and 1999 and early on in his career. Yeah, Booker needs to be talked about more. I'm just saying it right now. He didn't pay me to talk about him here. Definitely did not pay me. I always talk well about him on the channel. I do wish people talk about him more. Unique character, unique moveset, unique movement. Everything about this guy was unique. And Booker was smooth in ring, you know. Like Booker was so damn smooth in the ring. Had that spin-a-rooney, the scissors kick. He was a good-ass wrestler. It's just I don't think he reached his full potential, honestly. The Rock even called him the most underrated wrestler of all time. Is he the most underrated? I don't think so, because there's definitely going to be someone out there that's way more underrated than Booker T and Christian, than Booker T. They always mention Christian as well, but like those two, they have high levels of praises, and I can see why. I will say that Booker T's WWE career definitely would have been different if he went before 2001. I'm almost certain of it. I just know it for a fact. I just know that his talent at that point and hunger would have helped him reach a much higher level. Like, was he going to be the number one guy? Doubtful, but I know he would have worked hard and been one of those select few that they would have relied on, because they relied on him later on. It's just he had to fight through the whole Alliance and WCW stuff to get to that point. Imagine if he just left beforehand, before the whole WCW thing. I know for a fact that things would have been different. It just would have. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the Houston Hangover on the like button and perhaps a scissors kick on the subscribe button. Peace. I'm out.